In today's Tzu Chi 50th anniversary series, we learned that a bookshop isn't just about selling books. In fact, nowadays, bookshops also help promote cultural and creativity development, as proven by independent bookstores and Tzu Chi's Jing books and cafes. The smell of books is evident in this bookstore, where authors can interact closely with readers, and book lovers can reestablish their relationships with books and people.
Every independent bookstore or used bookstore will feature the distinct character of its owner. Whether mainstream society can tolerate and accept the existence of such a different group, I believe it is the purpose of these shops' existence.
On one stand, the free poetry bookmarks are inspirational to college students that visit. At another corner are handmade cards by aspiring local artists. Emphasizing on promoting local culture and creativity, the shop establishes its uniqueness as an independent bookstore by featuring both new and used books and holding regular author talks.
I actually had the whole thing worked out and thought I'd be very successful. Who knew it would be that difficult? But I have learned to take it easier now, as I have really learned a lot here. Also, I'm beginning to realize my dreams.
Tzu's bookshop dream was from the environment she grew up in, and her memory of the notable bookshops is shared by many generations.
I grew up in Taipei. If you were to buy books, you'd hit the shops on Chongqing South Road. In the past, other bookstores were concentrated around there. Then there were the smaller stationery supply and school textbook shops. In communities, both types of shops existed back then.
In the old days, when reading materials were scarce, used bookshops were where knowledge seekers converged. Take the Guanghua Market for example. Founded in 1960s, it soon replaced Kulin Street as the used book center of Taipei. However, with the demolition of the Guanghua Bridge in 2006, consumer electronic shops invaded the new market, driving the used bookshops to the NTU shopping district. Since then, consumers can buy their books in chain stores, high-end shops, independent shops, or even online.
I think culture is really location-oriented, which is why I believe independent bookstores, when choosing between globalization and localization business strategy, will go better with localization.
The new bookshops aim to offer personal human interaction from the old days, and to create a spiritual sanctuary in a modern metropolis. The first Jing Books and Cafe in Taiwan was born in 2001.
I think when people sit down inside a Jing cafe, they'll be surprised by how quickly their mind can settle. This is my favorite seat, as I can see "Be Mindful" written by Master Zheng. Seeing the words really helps me calm down.
At the time when deciding on the motif of the bookstore, and I will always remember this, Master Jing said, simple, oriental, and creative.
Following the master's guideline, the former CEO of TV, Eric Yao, who is also an architect, personally worked on the design. In 2000, the first of Tzu Chi's bookstores opened in Penang, Malaysia. To date, 110 shops have opened across 9 countries.
This is really like a miniature library. I often come here to read. When I get tired, I walk up to a book rack and just flip through several books, which always yield new inspirations.
The goal is really not about running a bookstore. It is about passing on positive information and Dharma to more people. I think that is the true meaning of this bookstore.
Besides selling handicrafts made by Jing abode's Dharma masters, young volunteers also began serving across the bookstores in 2005, which really set the shop apart.
你好，请蔡之敬是祝福你扬州施工上人的好话。是喝牛蒡茶。ありがとう。日本人。你好，请蔡之敬是祝福你哦。
Here they're looked after. At the same time, we're helping to cultivate future bodhisattvas. This is definitely a unique signature of Jing Books and Cafe.
Contributing to the propagation of culture and creative development is but a part of a bookstore's many functions. While many businesses in Taiwan focus on globalization, the country's bookstores work to preserve its rich culture, making them invaluable.